First of all, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Hitesh. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's an incredible honor to be here and just be part of this celebration. Well, first of all, we are here at the Porsche and Porsche Experience Center. And what's the motto here? Full speed, full synergy, right? Are we going full speed? Yes. Yes. Can't hear you. Yes. I can only hear a couple of people. Did we go full speed?
Yes.
Yes. Is there full synergy?
Yes.
Yes. I believe so. I hope so. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but how many of you guys know when N2N was born?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It does feel like it, doesn't it? It does feel like it. And unfortunately, it's been a journey. And N2N was born almost this week, 9 years ago in 2010. It was December 23rd, 2010. So this is our 9th birthday that we're celebrating, almost to a day, like 3 days ago, 3 days later. So it's been an incredible journey, right? And Hitesh talked about it, and Mark talked about it. But I've been, it's obviously people who have kids, you understand that journey starts at birth, and sometimes, that seems longer than usual because you see the birth and all the great things that come along with it. But also the growing pains of the company itself is interesting. And we've seen, just like Hitesh said, downs and ups, but when I started the company in 2010, there was a lot of times where it was just downhill, right? We were seeing a lot of things that we were trying to react to, trying to adapt. And there's a Chinese proverb that says, behind every able person, there is a bunch of extremely able people. And what you see in this room is that reason why we are successful. It's not just my employees, it's not just my board, it's not them, it's about customers. The customers who make us better, the board makes us better, our employees make us better. And I think that's what makes it exciting. But as much as it all makes us better, it comes at a cost, right? It's 9 years, it's a grinder. And in fact, if you think about it, when we started in 2010, I had 20 or so employees. Gotta figure this out. And out of those employees, we only have one person left. That's Subhash. And this was him when he started.
He had hair back then, didn't he?
I don't know. Subhash, Reshma, you can blame me for this. And this is him now. But frankly, he's more mature, he's wiser, I guess, he's smarter. So, Reshma, I don't know. It's not me, it's N2N. But it has been an interesting journey for each of us, right? Some people have changed a little bit. For example, this is Jeff. Where's Jeff? Right here. This was him getting excited about his offer letter just 3 years ago. And look at him now. This is quite a transformation, Jeff. I'm sorry. This is Danielle. And it's like a good wine. For some reason, she ages better. I got to get that secret formula from her. I think as much as it's been hard on employees, it's been kind of hard on my investors and board members also. I mean, look at this picture, for example. This is Hitesh the day we were signing the document. 3 years, and he's now a completely different person. I kid, but truly, the point being, it has been a remarkable journey where we saw each other grow, become different people, and become more successful. And every single people here, I've seen an incredible transformation, both in terms of our ability to handle things, our ability to handle stress, and being at the helm of it all. You can imagine that you've seen all the pictures about Barack Obama aging in 8 years of his presidency, and George W. Bush aging in 8 years of his presidency, even though he hasn't done much other than break in the world. And I don't know what Donald Trump will look like because He'll probably be more orange, I guess. But if you want to look at how I was just 10 years ago. So I don't know. This doesn't sound like 10 years ago. But we also have really good investors. So some of our investors have actually gone to great lengths and said, we will do anything possible to support N2N. And one of the investors traveled all the way to Antarctica to see, because he thought that there is a University of Antarctica can use N2N, and only to realize that there was a school of penguins there. So that's Kamlesh right there, and that's true Antarctic picture. I don't know about University of Antarctica, but I'm sure he had a good journey. And I mean, that's me just 10 years ago. All right, enough of that. So let's talk about some things important things, why we're here and what we're trying to accomplish. Yes, it has been incredibly sometimes stressful, sometimes frustrating, sometimes exciting as well, because we are here because we are trying to do something good, right? If it was easy, anybody could have done it. This higher education business has been there for the last 2,000 years, and we're still dealing with the same challenges that we used to do. We're still following a Socratic method where teachers standing on stage method where people are teaching from the stage and learning from it. And we're trying to transform it, and we understand it. But let's really talk about something more important. What is it? I want to ask a simple question, and there's something I heard that for us to really understand and get a value for who we are and what we're doing and why we're doing this, we need to do it in two ways. One is we can project backwards and say, what will we think about our current life when we are 80 years old? Or we can project backwards and say, what were we thinking when we were in high school? So imagine those high school days when we were floating on the clouds, thinking that we own the world, we know everything, nobody can tell us nothing. We are the most handsome people. We're the most handsome, most smart, the brightest kid in the classroom, and we had the best handwriting, and we can do anything possible. I don't know about you guys, but that's all true for me. I was absolutely handsome. All right, kid. I did think like that, but only to realize later that it wasn't the case. But regardless, in high school, we knew that we can do anything. We knew that we can be anything. We knew that we will be anything we want. And that's the days. But regardless, high school was the time where we also experienced some great things, where we fell in love. We fell in love with who we were. We fell in love with who we want to be. And what were we talking about here again? Yes, the big question. The big question we wanted to ask is, what did we want to be when we grew up, right? Before we got distracted about love and handsomeness, what did we want to be when we grew up? How many of you guys wanted to be doctors? Even doctors, I'm not sure if they wanted to be doctors. It was an accident, right? But some of us wanted to be doctors. In India, we had multiple choice questions on what we want to be. Doctor, engineer, or go to hell. Or I disown you, because there was no other options. But India, at least, that was the case, because they thought that it was either doctor or engineer or anything else. That's why there's no poets in India, there's no artists. It's all just doctors or engineers. And some of us are engineers. We wanted to build houses, build mansions, and architects. How many of you guys wanted to be architects or engineers when you were in high school? What did you guys want to be when you were in high school? What's that? Engineer? Anybody wanted to be anything other than doctor or engineer? Air Force pilot. That's a good one. Anything else? Archaeologist. That's a really good one. Anybody else? Well, I definitely wanted to be a scientist when I was growing up. I wanted to truly change the world. I wanted to find a cure for cancer. I wanted to become famous. I knew I would win Nobel Prize. I thought that I will do anything and everything to truly transform the world. And I'm not making this up. This is not fun or comedy. This is true thing. I truly thought that I wanted to become a scientist when I was growing up. But here we are. We are geeks in a closet, and this guy doesn't even know that he's trying to jam a mail in a mail eater. But I kid, but it's true. We are now, most of us people here, other than my investors, are engineers, right? We're trying to, life has a way to catch up to us, and we want to become an engineer. But is that all? Are we just engineers, just trying to do some technology work, or are we something different? And that brings us to the big question. What did we want to be when we grow up? And more importantly, what do we want to be when we grow up? And I think that's the question I want to answer. But let's take a pin on that, shall we? You know, in the last 9 years, I've seen some interesting things at N2N. You know, we've seen our ups and downs, and we've seen different types of people. And you know, I think I've seen some fish that seemed really, really friendly, and I thought I can truly make a good friend of this guy, only to realize that it's a shark, and I was ready to chop my head off. And I'm talking about loan sharks, of course. That's what Hitesh was talking about when he said 1,000% interest, is that, you know, when we were initially in formative stages of the company, we realized that, hey, we can, you know, these people seem to truly want to help us, and we realized that they were just extremely bad people. And we also thought that we can fly with the birds, fly as high as we can, met some really cool people that we think that they can take us to the highest heights, help us grow. And again, this is in the initial formative stages of the company, and only to realize that they were vultures trying to prey on like distressed people that were looking for hard work. And that's when we met great people like Hitesh and others. In that this journey has led me astray on many different ways. Like we met some incredibly bad people, we met some incredibly opportunistic people, we've been betrayed on, but every single bad thing led to many different good things. And that's what it's exciting about my journey. And I wouldn't trade this for any other thing. Like my experience at N2N has been about looking at better opportunities even when there were crises that we were facing. And this journey has nothing but been fulfilling for us. And it led us to some really amazing destinations that we never thought possible. If you asked me 10 years ago what we would be doing in 2019, I wouldn't have any idea that we would be here. I wouldn't realize that we were working with California Community College System or Florida Virtual Campus or ACI Worldwide or 15 other partners. I wouldn't realize that we would be in the place where we can truly transform the experience. And the journey is just getting started, guys. You know, this is just the beginning of our journey. You know, all the effort we have done so far is to prepare for this moment where we can truly see the efforts of our hard work. And just like that rainbow-shaped mountain that you're seeing here, we have no idea what we're about to see. And that's what excites me. But just like I talked about before, you know, there is Jeff Bezos said it in one of his presentations that a leader or a company has to be almost schizophrenic when it comes to running the business. On one hand, he has to be very resilient. On the other hand, he has to be extremely flexible. So what it means is that you have to be resilient with your vision on what you want to do, but you also have to be flexible on how you want to get there. And there were moments in my life where I felt like, is this truly worth it? Like, this was, again, in the initial stages of the company, how do we get out of this? Is this a battle worth fighting? And that's when I see this. I got this frame when Varun was born, and anybody who visited my office knows this. This is in my office since the North Carolina ages. But originally I bought this because I wanted myself to be important in the eyes of my own children, right? So that's obviously every father's dream. But as we evolved our vision in the company, I realized that this can actually be something even more profound. What if we can be important not just in the eyes of 2 children, but 2.4 million children in California? What if we were important in the eyes of 300 million people worldwide? What if we can truly transform the world? And that is my driver when it comes to truly helping. Because that's what we are fighting for. Every single fight we do is to truly help the students worldwide. We are here to help the students to help learn. Yes, we can't help them on their social issues or relationship issues, but we can truly help them succeed by providing them tools. For example, we can help a student using our new machine learning APIs to help them find the right course to help them graduate quicker. We can help a student through our mobile applications to find the right course and register, or even let them pay their bill and sign up for a payment plan. And this can help them in their progression. And most importantly, we can help them progress better in their academic journey. And I think that is something that's, I feel like it's worth fighting for all of us. And ultimately, what we are doing is we are illuminating their pathway towards their academic journey and truly enabling a student to become successful. And that's what we are. We are truly allowing students to be successful and incredibly successful in their journey. And most importantly, none of this would be possible if not for help from each one of you guys, whether it's investors or customers or employees or anybody else for that matter. And that's our priority. Our priority is truly enabling a student to become successful by using our tools and our APIs. And that's why it's so important for California Community College System to allow a student to be able to register at any campus if they want. At Florida Virtual Campus, a student should be able to enroll at any campus. Or ACI Worldwide should be able to integrate all their 300 customers with the payment plan, and on and on. And that is a battle worth fighting for. That's a battle worth getting older and getting stressed out about. So the journey is started. And last 9 years, as we've seen, and with 2020 coming up, we have some bigger ideas. When we started this company, we were practically worthless because we were just started. But now we are close to $39 million organization from our latest valuation. But that's just the beginning. If we continue on the path forward, we can become a company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And we can be a company that can support tens of millions of students. And we can support dozens of other organizations if we continue on this journey. And that's why our plan for 2020 is a plan to move forward in a much more aggressive fashion by investing in 3 main areas. One is on customer success. Our focus on continuing to support our customers in a holistic fashion by providing better tools, better support mechanisms, and on-demand systems is very critical. And to support that, we have opened the opportunity to look at our ability to open a new office in India to support us with a 24/7 DevOps center. And this will allow us to not only support the DevOps, but also with customer success and customer relationship. Second is also our ability to invest in our employees so that we can provide them better benefits, better skill sets, better technology. So that's why we are in the process of changing our employee hiring process. In fact, we have one of our latest hires here, Jasmine. She was hired a couple of days ago for N2N. She's going to be our senior QA analyst. We are going to hire better employees, newer employees, and we're going to invest in our existing employees by providing them technology, training, and overall benefit package. And third, and most importantly, is we're going to double and triple down our focus on innovation. And one of the only ways we can truly change the world is by continuing to evolve and continuing to provide better solutions to our customers, products, and the overall ecosystem. And remember the first question we talked about is that where did we want to be when we grow up, right? So we talked about, I wanted to be a scientist. And do I feel like a scientist? Maybe some days. But there are some days where I feel like this is too much operational stuff. Like there are responsibilities that come along with being a CEO that are not exciting. Sometimes it's invoicing, sometimes it's accounts payable, receivable, answering to the board. No, my board is really good. But regardless, I think there is a there is an operational struggle that prevents me from truly become a scientist or innovator that I truly want to be. So as I start looking at, project forward on where I see myself when I'm 80 years old, and what I was doing at 44, and what my regrets would be, or for what I have not done or what I've done, one of the things that I would definitely regret is if I am focusing too much on operational duties and not focusing myself on going back to where I wanted to be. Be a child again. Be somebody who can truly focus on innovation and support and success. So in that spirit, I think nobody knows this, but I'm announcing a potential 3 to 5 year transition where I will, in this transition period, I will eventually leave my CEO responsibilities and become a Chief Innovation Officer for N2N. Because I think as I look at my own future, as I look at my own success and my own childhood calling, I want to become a scientist again. I want to truly change the world by building better solutions. That doesn't mean I'm leaving N2N. I'm just going to become more focused on R&D and product management and innovation. And it's not going to happen overnight, Hitesh, don't worry. It's going to take 3 to 5 years or 3 to 6 years. But it's still a decision that I want to become aware of, and I want to build a pathway towards that. And in that spirit, I have launched a new organization called Socrates Labs, which is going to be a subsidiary of N2N. And this focus is, it's going to be an internal alpha division of N2N that will be completely focused on product innovation and product management. So the reason why we originally thought of started thinking about it is we wanted to name our India subdivision something different than N2N. Even though it will be a subdivision of N2N, it needs to have its own structure. But as we started thinking about it, I realized that for us to be uber focused on innovation, we need to have an innovation division that will have its own structure underneath it. And as I start thinking about it further, there might be an opportunity where Socrates Labs will become its own venture, where it will be a subsidiary of N2N, where it will be focused on building new innovations altogether. That's why it will have its own domain expertise and domain knowledge. But regardless of how it will form, it will be a subsidiary of N2N that will be focused on innovations with respect to education initially, where we are going to give out, instead of giving out money, we are going to give out licenses to Illuminate to our platform customers and potential customers and potential partners, and that will allow them to build better products and solutions, and eventually it will lead to more social good as well. And this is to new beginning. Just like we started the company 9 years ago, we will figure out a way to learn from all our experiences and build something better from what we have. And I am nothing but excited about where we are and where we're headed. And I'm definitely excited about my focus on growing the company by focusing on better products and better solutions and better technologies. And I'm absolutely sure that all these efforts will truly lead us to illuminate the world itself. And that's what our growth plan is. When we grow up, we want to truly change the world. We want to truly support every single student on their academic journey or academic pathway and allow them to graduate. And if we can do that, we don't even need to save 10,000 students. We don't even need to save maybe 100 students. Even if we can truly help one student in their pathway to help them successful, I still feel like that is a fight worth having. And that's what I'm looking to achieve with the help of each of you guys. Thank you. Any questions?